Let me move on to two more points here, and then I want to ask you gentlemen some questions. You guys saw that California has required that publicly traded firms headquartered or based in California have to have women on the board. You've seen that?
Yes.
Okay. Two, if you have five and if you're a certain size. We don't need to talk about that. I think we all understand the politics underneath and what genuine sexism that is. And then have you guys seen the video where there's two large, fat, ugly liberal women arguing with he's some kind of YouTuber. I forget his name, but he's in a suit and tie. Actually, a quite dapper looking gentleman.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just yelling at him saying, you have to believe her. You have to believe her. He's like, what? I mean, he is asking very simple stuff like, what about innocent until proven guilty? What about due diligence? And what's the other one? TJ, you know this stuff.
Presumption of innocence. His name is Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, he came across my Twitter feed as well, and I didn't even have the sound on, and that was hard enough to just watch the subtitles and see these women just.
All my point is, if you watch the video, you see women who are mentally ill.
Yep.
That's not an opinion. You see women who are filled with hate and evil.
Yep.
And then you also see women who have no respect for due process, the law, innocent until proven guilty. They are vile people that want tyranny and for them to be in the positions of power. That is what you saw there. Okay, you saw women that actually hate men.
Right.
So
it's clear. Crystal clear.
Crystal clear. Now, you take everything we've seen with this website, Kavanaugh. This is not the only protest. I mean, I cannot believe how many protests are out there where women and some men are just like, well, believe women, and they loathe and hate Kavanaugh. There's no logic. Everything thrown out the window. It's like, dude, that was 36 years ago. Is it possible she's lying with the timing and everything? You have the lawyers citing an increase. TJ, you've dated more recently than all of us. I was probably second. And then I think DT and Doc have been married the longest, but we all did go through some dating except DT. I ask each of you a question. I want a number. What percent of women under 50 hate men? Doc.
Oof. Oh,
estimated. I know it's hard. That's why I want to get your numbers first because I'm trying to figure this out. And if we can get a reasonably good approximation, we could start highlighting and measuring just what a dangerous situation this presents for young, old men, any men out there, and any women who give a damn about the men in their lives.
Yeah, I think it's hard to do. Under 50, I would definitely say if it's 30 and under, I would ballpark that percentage at 10 to 15.
Okay.
I mean, if you're saying the word hate of feeling
a genuine bigotry against men, like they hate men.
I'm going. We'll say 15% under 30.
Okay, DT.
Well, see, I think any woman that votes Democrat at least hates men a little bit.
I got you covered on that one.
So I think
conscious hate.
Yeah, just conscious hate?
Consciously hates men. I think I'm entitled over them. I deserve more than them. I hate them. They oppress me.
I still think if you're voting Democrat, that's at heart what you are, whether you admit it to yourself or not. And so I'd say 60%.
Okay, 60%. TJ, you're the closest. You probably have the closest feet on the ground. What do you say?
I think the better way to put that question is how many women under the age of 30 are getting their views or internalizing the values of the women who are yelling at Charlie Kirk? And I would say a dangerous percentage where they're not. But you gotta remember, it's a herd mentality. So if you get, and that's what's happening, is that it's not that there's a lot of them are like that. It's that it only takes a handful of them in an environment where they're not checked to control. I mean, look at how the most vile people, the most disgusting people are getting to determine what is considered normal for human relations. Like the people who should be in padded cells are talking about appropriate ways that men and women should behave around each other. These people would be in insane asylums. Instead, they're in universities and they're professors or they're politicians or they're whatever. They're considered moral authorities on these issues when they're out of their freaking minds. And so people, like a lot of...
Give us a number, TJ. Give us a number.
Here, hang on. I just want to point. Hey, I'm the one in charge here. I'm letting you guys blather on because I want to show the audience what a bunch of little girls you are, and you're beating around the bush, and you can't shoot me a number. Continue on.
I would say, I under the right circumstances, I would say
give me a gut reaction.
The majority.
51.
I would say 51.
51. DT. I'm sorry. We already got DT. Okay, now next question, because you guys all farted over the example. I went the same route, DT, that you did. Is I try to do a top-down approach. Like, okay, what percentage of women love the government more than they love men?
Yeah.
That doesn't translate to hate. And you could say what percentage of women vote against the interests of men. That would be Democrat women. So you're looking at 70%. But that's not conscious hate. A lot of that is dumb naivete and also female caring nature. They just want to help people out. I meant actual hate. So Doc said 10 to 15. Let's call it 12. You're at 60%, DT?
I said 60. I said Democrats, baby. Democrat women hate men. Yep.
Democrat women, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. TJ says 51%.
I'm saying 51% are capable of being of taking their orders from the women, like the ones who are yelling at Charlie Gard. The number of hate men, it really depends on how you would define hate.
I'm taking Charlie Kirk as that 12%. That's what I'm kind of describing in my 12%.
It's really hard to determine because a lot of them just don't have a specific viewpoint. It's whatever they blow with the wind. They're like Captain Renault from Casablanca, right? They blow with the wind, and the prevailing wind happens to be these people.
The next question. Hang on, I'm going to send a link to John Steele because I want to get him on to talk about a separate article that we'll talk about later, and we'll close up shop here unless there's some thing. The next question, Doc, what percent of women under 50 are incapable of functioning around men? Not hate, but are not either because they don't understand men, they have delusional expectations, they're co-opted, as TJ is recommending. What percentage of women under 50 are incapable of functioning around men?
I would put that at a 50%.
Okay. DT?
Well, I have to go higher, right?
No, you don't have to.
Well, I got to be consistent in my answers.
No,
if I'm saying 60% hate, how many percent can't function as function like rational human beings?
Very wide description of hate. So, I mean, it could be.
Okay, so I'm going to define functioning because based on my first answer as unable to be rational around men, and I will say 95%.
Wow, that high. Okay, hang on, I'm writing these
from
numbers.
time to time. It's not 100% of the time, but we all know.
Okay,
they go a little crazy sometimes.
Wow, so Mrs. DT is one of the top 20, huh?
Right.
Right. Okay. You bet. Yeah, she's right there, right, DT? Okay,
I said 95%. So.
Doc, you said what? 50%?
I said 50.
All right, DT, you say 95. TJ?
I don't know. I think the number is probably equal to the number of young men, not through any fault of their own.
That's a good point. How many men know how to function around women? Look,
I think the important thing is that to take away from that is that this is a situation in which they've been raised in this situation. They've been raised in this culture and society. And so I don't think that it's intentional. It's what they've been raised to believe. And so I just don't, I don't know. It's just a bad situation. It's not a judgment so to speak.
Oh, this is so painful.
You're asking me to make this just on gut feeling. And
yes. I'll come up with a better methodology. I just want some ballpark figures. You guys like, well, there was one time in the 7th grade, and I held Susie Perkins' hand.
Hey, if I'm going to get crucified about this for 35 years from now when I become a best-selling author, I want to be able to defend those figures. I'd say 30%.
30%, okay.
Can I